Before I launch into this one, I need to make sure that my microphone works okay, because I do not usually use this computer. So I guess I have to ask right off the bat, can people hear me okay? And now I wait the 30-second delay to see whether or not everything's copacetic. I hate technology. Mic works. Fantastic. Okay. Well, welcome to the MAGFest Fireside Chat. My name is Nicholas Marinelli, and I am the Executive Director of MAGFest, Inc. For those who haven't seen one of these before, Fireside Chats are a monthly status update about what's going on in the world of MAGFest, usually geared towards the staff, internal kind of stuff, but the public's welcome to watch it too, which is why we post it on Twitter. Usual format is I just kind of go over what's happened over the past month since the last Fireside Chat, what's coming up, and I open it up for questions at the end. And as always, I'm going to make sure, what the hell are you doing, you piece of shit? There we go. If you have any questions, please use this form up here to submit questions. And if you ever would like to book a time to meet up with me, to talk about me, we can talk about me, talk about anything that's on your mind, you got any questions, this right here is hooked into my Google Calendar for the most part, so it should give pretty good availability, or pretty accurate availability, that is. It's tough for me to monitor the stream chat as well as the like the YouTube stream chat as well as the Slack chat. So please, if you have questions, use the form or call my phone, I guess. It's upstairs, but I guess I'll run and grab it if it comes down to it. This Fireside Chat will actually be somewhat short compared to most of them. I actually don't have a whole hell of a lot going on for this one. So I will try to take the things that I do have and stretch them for as long as possible. First up is MagCon, the convention to plan MAGFest, which happened just a few weeks ago at the Gaylord. We basically invite everyone, but usually it's department heads that come. And it's our, I want to say the annual staff summit for MAGFest, but that's not true anymore because now we have, it's biannual, because we also have the spring MagCon, which is kind of more about MAGFest, the organization as a whole, rather than just Super Mag, which is what the most recent one was about. But it was a good event. We went over the restructuring with the new employees, new division heads for Super MAGFest, that kind of thing. We talked about mental health some. We had some really good sessions about incident intervention and response handling. So like if you see potential harassment or assault situation, how to get in there while keeping yourself safe. See if you can de-escalate it, or if there's issues that you can't do that for, making sure security gets involved, and also considering how sensitive those kinds of situations can be, being equipped with the right tools to be able to take a report from someone, especially if they're, which is tough if they're in a fragile emotional state, if they just went through something rough. But that was really helpful, and there were some really good discussions going on during that. Other than that, there were some other cool workshops going on at MagCon. The VR team, Jenny Truss and her crew, they're showing off some of the stuff that'll be happening at the new VR zone at SuperMag. I think they wanted to call it the VR room, but it just wasn't cyber enough for them, so they had to add the zone on there. The game show crew was showing off some of their new tech, which looks pretty damn cool. Yeah, it used to be just kind of 2D overlay, and they've worked VR into it. I'm pretty sure. And it's going to be fun because Phil Moore, the host of the original Nick Arcade, will be at MAGFest this year hosting MAGFest Versus, which I don't know why he would do that. MAGFest Versus is in no way related to that trademark Nickelodeon intellectual property. So it must just be a big coincidence. That's about the bulk of what happened at MagCon. I think so. Well, at MagCon, I was officially voted in as the executive director. I'd been the acting executive director for the past 10 months, 9 months. It's been a while. Dom has been he pushed me out of the nest. Baby bird had to learn to fly sometime, but now it's legally official, and I am on the hook if I fuck this shit up. I think I'll do okay. I'll try. But all of you have been very supportive, and I really appreciate that. A lot of you came up and said things to me at MagCon, which really meant a lot to me, and thank you for that. I think that about sums up MagCon. Other than that, I just have kind of a few announcements of things I've just kind of gone through. One is parking. We sent out parking information to all of the early birds and the staffers. Basically, there's 2 lots that you can actually reserve a parking spot, and it gives you in and out privileges for the entire weekend. Well, for the days you purchase. It's so weird. You have to purchase it by day. It's really not designed for events as long as us, but whatever. It's cheaper parking than you can get elsewhere, so I'll take it. We used to get these lots through Parking Panda, but now National Harbor has their own. It's not a proprietary system, but it's they're running their own deal now. And it's the same 2 lots. It's 2 flat lots, one across from the Gaylord parking garage, and one behind the Gaylord, right next to the Potomac. Which, if you park down there, bring a windbreaker, because that Potomac air will hit you hard. But it's cheap. But it's a 10-minute walk. We had a weird hiccup when we first posted those. The parking reservation system had a built-in throttling system. So when 100 people bought parking passes within 10 minutes, it thought it was being DDoSed. So it automatically said that parking was sold out. That was not the case. We were only about 15% full when that happened, and that has since been unlocked. I believe the South Point lot, the cheap one, the dirt one, the Potomac Wind one is sold out, but there's still spots, I'm pretty sure, on the Plateau lot, which is the one across the street from the Gaylord. I don't have the link handy right now, but if you go to the SuperMag webpage, super.magfest.org, go up to the About, and then Directions, and I think there's a parking link on there. Aside from those reserved parking spots, there's lots of other parking in National Harbor. There's the Gaylord garage itself, which has probably a few thousand spots. There's a flat lot surrounding the Gaylord, and then there are 3 other parking garages in National Harbor. I should have learned. You'd think I'd learned by now to never make any kind of conjecture about the availability of anything for MAGFest this year, but I haven't. And from what I've heard anecdotally, people have not had a lot of problems getting parking at, even though the other garages may fill up. But the garage over the Elevation Burger down at the entrance. I've heard good tales about that. If we get hit by a disastrous nice day of weather, that might eat up parking spaces. But let's cross our fingers that doesn't happen again. But if it does, there's actually no. The last time that happened, we didn't have the flat lots. We didn't have the reserved lots. And then they've since added that, and then that really helped alleviate that kind of congestion. You could also, if you're a gambler, if you're staying at the MGM, I wouldn't necessarily risk just using it as a parking lot. But if you have legitimate reason to be at the MGM, the casino down the street, that might be a good place to park. That's about it for parking. What else? Next up on the agenda is we hired our warehouse manager, our Lord of Logistics. His name is Matthew Beal, and he started last Monday. Yeah, he's coming to the end of his second week here. Well, no, I guess halfway through his second week, and he's been kicking ass. Excuse me. Him and Ian McCombs are both hitting it full time, and Ian will be with us until the end of January in his full time position, helping us, and Matt will continue from there. But the warehouse is looking good. I've heard tales of ambition of installing a mezzanine level while Super MAGFest is happening. It would be cool. I warn about tiring oneself out, but if they're game to do it, who am I to stop them? So yeah, that's Matt Beal. He's been added to the warehouse at magfest.org list, the logistics at magfest.org list. You can see him hanging out in the warehouse and logistics channels in Slack, and on Slack he's Matt Beal, MATTBEALE is his handle. It's a very, very creative handle. Props to him. That's about it for the warehouse manager. We are, believe it or not, we're closing in on our communications person. But that's we have stuff actively happening this week. Yep, screensaver. I'll just say that we're wrapping that up soon. Today, the staff room assignments went out. Ashley Nicolette, our Sultan of Staff Services, or our structural engineer of volunteer systems, our volunteer infrastructure director. There's some fun. There's some names that really do justice to what she does. I think she should adopt. She has put together a team of people that is helping with the room assignments. She called them the innkeepers. So her and them have been working tirelessly over the past couple weeks to get the room assignments for Super Mag set, and they're finally out. We are starting to reach a point in MAGFest where it is unsustainable for any one area to have a reliance on institutional knowledge in order to operate. It helps kind of getting used to things year after year and just kind of knowing to anticipate certain expect the unexpected. Well, I guess if you're used to it, you expect it from I mean, it's no one department in particular, but many departments have things that they request on the department head checklist. And it could be anything: office supplies, warehouse things, hotel rooms, budget. Really doesn't matter. But as we grow, we need to make every effort to be as structurally stable as possible, and not have to rely on past knowledge told through the stories of our ancestors to our fathers and our father's father, passed down to us without any documentation of it. Just because, you know, not all of us are going to be around here forever. We're going to get tired of this shit eventually and then hand it off to someone else. And it would help if handing off to someone else didn't involve also giving them an encyclopedia set for them to know how to do everything. So to that end, we have started this year and are going to be continuing to push next year of trying to make sure that all information necessary for cross departments, for support departments to be able to do their job is properly logged in Uber, or Reggie as it'll soon be called. And that way there's no kind of weird special cases that someone has to remember. There's no kind of not 800 spreadsheets all floating around with different special requests from each department. We'll have a unified system that basically can capture the. You're not going to capture everything, every special request, but for the most part, the special requests tend to fall in a lot of predictable categories, and those are things that you can prompt for when you're asking department heads to declare their needs. And coming along with that means that all of us as department heads need to make use of that as much as possible and make sure to document our needs. That way, the other support departments, tech ops, logistics, stops, hotels, that way we don't rely on them just remembering what we happen to need every year. So I guess that means just in general, moving forward, let's try to use the automated systems as much as we can, and work to improve them with the aid of Rob Ruana, our Archduke of Software Engineering, who's upstairs right now. I moved downstairs. I'm at the MAGFest office, by the way, right now. I moved downstairs to not bug him. And so specifically when that comes to staff rooms, the innkeepers have accommodated everyone's request as best they possibly could. Many of you may not have gotten the exact people you wanted to room with. Maybe you're rooming with people you don't know. But I can assure you that the innkeepers went through extreme effort to make sure that as many requests were satisfied without having a huge number of empty spots in rooms. There are many people who requested to be roomed with a friend, but they had very differing room night requests, and it doesn't really make sense for a room to have an empty spot 75% of the time, and it'd be weird to shift other people in and out of the room around that. It's a rough game of Tetris. And then there's some people that requested room and they didn't get their roommates, but their roommates were specifically requested to be in another room, either by their department head or I guess by the department head for the most part. Excuse me. Basically, what I'm saying is, if there are any true emergencies with the room requests, the innkeepers and the rest of the stops, they will try their best to accommodate any real emergency situations that don't work. But for the most part, please realize that the assignments you've got are basically the most optimized version we could possibly give you, and modifications to this has a cascading effect that Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park would really lose his shit over, just seeing all the effects as it ripples out and dominoes to all the other rooms. So please have patience with the innkeepers. That's about all I have to say for staff rooms. Other than that, we got the staff shirts are making a comeback for this year. Although, so you got staff and you got volunteers. First year volunteers won't get a staff shirt. They'll just get their volunteer ribbon. But MAGFest staff will receive a staff shirt. It's red. It's got hearts on it. And staff should have received a survey preference prompt that was added to the volunteer checklist that gives you the option of choosing if you want 2 staff shirts or 1 staff shirt and 1 of the event themed attendee swag shirt, which we got a lot of feedback from the staff shirt system last year, and there's a lot of things we tried to address, but I think this was the biggest thing, and I hope people enjoy it. You get the choice of wearing, if you don't sweat a lot, I guess you can get away with the 1 staff shirt, but we give you the option of having 2 staff shirts if you want to keep fresh during the weekend, which you will likely need to consider, because the policy we're doing for these staff shirts is that if you are on shift, please wear your staff shirt. Wearing your staff shirt when you're on shift, it helps provide more of an air of welcomeness and security. It lets attendees know where they can go to ask for help. Regarding security, like having that sea of red shirts around you really shows that bad actors can't get into too much trouble and they'll think twice before doing anything. And don't try not to fret too much about wearing a staff shirt, people coming up to you. It's helpful to know as much as you can, but really the only 2 things you really have to know are where's attendee services, the info desk, because they can answer all the other questions, and where's security. Those are really the only 2 things you need to be able to tell people, and if you have that, you're fine. And we'll be giving staffers an info packet when they check in. It'll include their I'm planning for that. I have to talk to Ashley about it more. Well, with any luck, it'll be a packet containing a lot of basic information about your shifts and maps and the like. But if after all that you're still not comfortable wearing that shirt and people coming up to you, if for whatever reason, I don't care whatever it is, whatever reason, it just makes you too uncomfortable to do it, that's fine. It's not a hard requirement to wear the shirt. Maybe you even work in a department where you discreetness is important, like you can't be known as staff. You don't have to wear the shirt. That we ask that if you can wear it, that you do wear it. And take the shirt off when you're not on shift, because as long as you're wearing that shirt, you should be expected to answer staff questions. If you're wearing that shirt, I'm not on shift is not an excuse. So if you're not ready to talk to people, take off that shirt. Recommendation to aid in taking off the shirt without going in the buff. Long sleeve undershirts, like these guys right here. You can get them at Walmart, Costco, Uniqlo, Heat Tech. They work great for keeping you warm and keeping the shirt fresh. I highly recommend those. That's about it on staff shirts. What else we got? Anime USA happened last weekend, and huge thanks to the team that pulled that out of their ass, because we were unprepared for that. Especially big thanks to Chris Satia from registration. Thank you, Chris, for putting that together, and thank you everyone else for being there to help out. I haven't heard too many stories from it, so I assume it wasn't set on fire. I do need to check in just to see how they all did. Say next Friday, December 22nd, right? Yeah, next Friday, December 22nd. We wanted to do this during the summer, but we are going to be donating our badge sales to Puerto Rico relief efforts. Any badge sales on December 22nd up to a cap of $5,000 will be turned over immediately to Puerto Rico relief. I forget what the exact charity was, but yeah. We wanted to do it over the summer, and we kept kicking the can because it felt like any time that we would, summer in the fall, anytime that we would try to do it, we just looked like a PR ploy to help fight off the complaints people had. Complaints is kind of they're valid. The concerns people had over the registration and hotel stuff. So now that all that's out of the way, we can now actually do that fundraiser without any perceived PR ass covering. Yeah, we will announce that soon. Again, that's Friday, December 22nd. All badge sales up to $5,000 will be donated to Puerto Rico relief. Okay, so that's about most of everything. This is the last Fireside chat before Super Mag. You all won't see my dumb face on this screen for another month at least. Thank God, works well for you. So as we go into MAGFest, just be sure to pace yourself. There's going to be a lot you want to do. You're going to be tempted to stay up a lot of late nights. But just be very aware of yourself. It's good to be ambitious. It's good to set big goals. But don't hurt yourself in the process of trying to meet those goals. And be satisfied with what you can do without beating yourself up for things you can't. And it's especially important that you do that, because if you do that, you're in a healthy state where you can help support someone that isn't able to do that. And I said this at MagCon. When I say, like, don't push yourself too hard or make sure to get sleep, I'm not here to discipline people that work too hard or don't get enough sleep. I'm here to tell people that it's okay if they don't work that hard. It's okay if they get a little bit of sleep. We are here to support them and make sure that they're able to enjoy the event and come out of it healthy. That's all of the notes I had. Let me see what's going on in the Fireside chat questions. The wonderfully talented Amanda Kavanaugh from the Washington Metropolitan Gamer Symphony Orchestra asks if I'm hyped for the Mystery Weeaboo Theater. I unfortunately don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting. I'm guessing it's like Mystery Anime Theater. I remember they used to do that at what the fuck is it called? Otakon. How do I not know the name? Mystery Anime Theater. Mystery Weeaboo Theater. Amanda, you have to write out what that is. And have I seen Harry Potter predictive text? And can I read it out loud? Submit it back through this form, and I will read out what I can. But it sounds fun. Nugget's asking if he can have $20 on his pecs. Ask your division head. That's the policy. You know that. That's the procedure. We have a request from an anonymous person saying, we're longtime staffers who staff in the same department that always request each other and always room together. Hold on a second. Year after year, broken up for a reason. It seems that it happened across multiple departments and was a large departure from the usual setup every year. Basically, was it on purpose or just an oops? Like I said before, it's a massive game of Tetris without the benefit of having long-term institutional knowledge of what the history of room assignments were. And again, they'll try their best to accommodate changes. But I think the rough order of like the criteria for being assigned to the room was people that you said you specifically didn't want a room with, people that you said you did want a room with, people that match your dates, people that are in your department. I forget the exact order of all of it, but it was a combination of all the factors, and it resulted in what it resulted in. And I will say that this is not sustainable. We've been doing this for years, and this year is the final nail in the coffin for the staff room assignment process. The innkeepers are doing the best they can, but it's crazy how many hours it takes to get this done. It's such a manual process. So next year, Reggie will be having a major overhaul in the staff room system. There's been a few different proposals of how that could work. I know Dare put together a pretty thorough one. Dom put together one a couple years ago. But the long and short of it is that I think the general thing we're going for is kind of a build your own room system where the staffers can basically, I don't know how it actively be implemented, where you trade a link or you select from a box or something, I don't know. But you build a room, and then that's your room, and then maybe it'll be backfilled with other people to help conserve room nights, make sure you don't have 3 empty spaces for 3 of the nights. If you have follow-up questions about the room stuff, please feel free to ask. I just also ask that you understand how goddamn difficult it is to do these. War Champ 7, Avolition Griefer Extraordinaire, asks, when can I help with things? Whenever you arrive on site, or earlier, depends on what you want to help with. If you are not, whether or not you're signed up to volunteer, just head over to our operations room in same place it's always been at the end of that. Well, not always, but same place it's been for the past many years. At the end of that operations hallway, down past the soapbox, past security. Whether tell them you want to help out, they'll give you a volunteer ribbon, or if you're already a staff, already volunteer, they'll tell you where they need help. If you want to do things pre-event, again, War Champ helps with web maintenance and development stuff. Just use the contact form on the website to reach out and be like, hey, I want to help beforehand. But we always need help at event. I think at this point, with three weeks out, that's not that, we're doing fine. 3 weeks out, we're kind of past the point of pre-event prep help, except for logistics. Logistics needs lots of help. So if you have a strong back and thick gloves and a windbreaker, please volunteer for logistics, because they really need help loading into the event before the event. Nugget asks, any word of future announcements for panelists, voice actor, animation, guests? I am not sure. I think we've exhausted our official curated guest list announcements for the year. I think everyone's up that's going to be up on that, I'm pretty sure. And the panelists, all of the panel acceptance emails have been going out, and the schedule's being set, which should be done in the next few days. once the schedule is set, that is presumably when they will announce all the panels. And there's some good stuff in there, especially panels about high quality rips of video game music. Okay, next up, Warchamp asks again, are we going to be screwed if we don't reserve parking, or is it just a convenience? Example, are they offering 100% of the lot spaces for reservation? As I said before, no. Only, oh God, I can't actually give you a percentage off the top of my head. If I could estimate, I would say it's something like 25% of the parking is reserved. Ish, in that range, plus minus 10%. But it's definitely no. You're definitely not screwed if the reserve parking is sold out, because again, the reserve parking is the flat lot across from the Gaylord, the dirt lot behind the Gaylord. I think it's still dirt. And the unreserved spots are the Gaylord garage, the Gaylord's flat lot itself within its gate, and the 3 other garages in National Harbor, which I forget what they are called. Will Henson asks, what's Reggie? Rob's upstairs. I wonder if you heard that. Reggie, short. Well, I guess it's not short for anything. So it's what is Uber is becoming. Uber system is MAGFest's custom-made event management software, where any other event in the world would be smart enough to just purchase some kind of ticketing system and scheduling system. We are not that smart, so we decided to build our own, and that's been built up over the course of the past. God, when did Eli start doing that? 13 years ago? 14, 15? And we've started to reach its limits of how functional it can be in its current state, with the most notable current limitation being that there's a new instance of Uber system for every event. So for every new mag stock, every new MAGFest, Super Mag, MAGWest, every year we have to spin up a new instance on a new server with a new database. Which one, it means a lot of server costs that we really shouldn't be paying, and 2, it means that there's not a persistent record of people that exist across all events. For staff, we have to do a script to export and import stuff from event to event. And with the way MAGFest has been branching out into different events, it's just not sustainable to have the data that fragmented. So Reggie is the next gen of Uber system, and it's basically all the features you know and love, without any of the bugs, and with a lot more powerful. It's just tough data. It's just gonna be a hell of a lot easier to just move people between event and just look up people. Anonymous asks, how would the room building system work if you don't know staff people to join? Good question. It would basically be, you have the option of building a room, and if you don't know anybody, we'll just fill you in to whatever empty spots there are based on any kind of preferences that you have based on days or departments or anything like that. I understand. Yeah, you don't want to be like social outcast where it's like, oh, I don't know anybody that's getting a room, so how do I get a room? So yes, that's definitely something that's accounted for. And what appears to be the most important question from Will Henson is, where is Ivan? Ugh. He's a nice kitty, not as nice as Sunny. He's very nice. Okay, not as nice as Sunny, but let's go take a look, see how he's doing. what we have going on here. What a Mr. Good Sleepies. You've been sleeping here all day and you have not moved one bit. What a good Mr. Fuzzy Sleepy's Purry's best nice goods.
He's so good.
He is so good.
He's so good.
So good. Oh, God. All right. That about wraps up the chat here. Let me just do a quick scan through the through some of the comments. Someone said I look terrible. Thank you. Appreciate it. Someone asked about if the suites were allocated. They're in the process of that. If you haven't heard word back, just email them again. Just keep bugging them. Just please be patient because the team that does the suite allocations does a shit ton of other stuff. So they are buried under a lot of things right now. The great Funkapotamus asks, "How is Sunny?" And the answer is very nice. Always. Ugh. Okay. Is it cold by the fireplace? God, we don't have a fireplace. I am downstairs though, and it is pretty freezing down here. Poorly insulated in our Baltimore office in 36th Street. Okay. It's tough to. Looking kind of sick. It's just the lighting down here. The lighting is really shit. Well, no, maybe I do look like shit. I don't know. I'm feeling great. That's what matters. Okay, so I'm gonna call this. I will hang out. The tradition is for me to start up a Google Meet for people to join. I will hang out for a little bit, but not as much as I usually can, just because I'm still at the office and I want to go home. So I will be dropping that link into Slack and the YouTube chat in just a second, and anybody is welcome to join, staff or not. All right, there it is. Thank you all so much for tuning in. That's all the questions on the forum. All right, I will see you all at MAGFest.